Hey everyone, I'm Stephanie Brinkerhoff with Hair and Makeup by Steph, and I'm here with Kenra Professional to walk you guys through a low ponytail that's a little bit sleek, but also very voluminous. So I'm going to give you all of my tips for getting tons of volume in that ponytail and how to get it to last all day. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so this ponytail is going to have some good volume here at the crown, and then the sides are going to be a little bit more sleek and tucked. So I'm going to start by applying the Kenra Dry Volume Burst 3 at the roots. So I'm just focusing this in the crown, anywhere that I want my volume. Okay, and I'll work that in with my fingers. And then I'm going to start getting this back combed. So I'm going to just start here at the top of the crown. And I'm going to do this pretty condensed. I'd rather have too much volume than not enough, so I'm gonna start with quite a bit. So I just got that back combed, and then I'm spraying that with the Kenra Volume Spray 25 to kind of lock that in place. And I'm taking fairly small rows just so I can really pack this in there. Okay, then I'm also going to do a tiny bit on the sides as well, just to kind of round out this shape. I don't want there to be a ton of contrast between the volume and the sides. I want it to blend very nicely. So I'm just taking this back combing to the sides a little bit just to round it out. Okay, and then I'll just smooth out the exterior. So I'm just lightly combing. I'm not taking out any of my back combing. I'm just very softly smoothing the outside. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with some of the Kenra Platinum Working Wax, and I'm just going to smooth back the sides. So I'm taking this all the way to the top and the front and just getting these sides smoothed and tucked behind her ears. And then I have a little on my fingers still, and I'm just going to kind of smooth the bottom down here. Okay, now I'm going to grab my comb and make sure everything is gathered in the center in the back. So the sides are more tight, but then I'm going to leave the volume here in the middle. So I will go ahead and get this in an elastic down here, pretty low in the back. You can make it higher if you want to, but this time I'm going to set hers a little bit lower. Okay, once I have that secure, I'm going to pull up just in the center back to give this a little bit of a bouffant here while still keeping the sides nice and tight. So I'm just grabbing here at the top and softly pulling up. And then you can also go in with your tail comb and just stick that underneath the outside layer to smooth out any holes. And I want hers to be a little bit more textured, so I'm not going to make this perfectly smooth, but it does help to make it a little bit cleaner. Okay, and then I'm just going in with the Volume Spray 25 one more time, just to smooth out these sides and control any flyaways. Okay, now I'm going to go in with a hook elastic. This is just to make this extra tight. So I'm hooking this on to my elastic here, and then I'm going to wrap this around as tight as I can get it. And then just hook it back onto the elastic again. Okay, and then I'm going to hide this by just taking a strand of hair. I'll get a little bit of the platinum working wax on this as well, just to make it a little bit easier to work with. And I'm just going to flat wrap that. And then get this bobby pinned underneath. Okay, now I'm going to start detailing my ponytail. So I'm just gonna add a soft wave in this. So I'm starting with the Kenra Hot Spray 20, just misting this through here. This is a thermal protectant, but also a curling spray, so it's going to help the curls stay a little bit better. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with a 1 1/4 inch curling iron and just get a loose curl in here. And I'm going to curl everything in the same direction. I want her ponytail to have a little bit more of a wave to it, which is why I'm going to curl it all the same direction. If you want it to be messier or beachier, then I would alternate directions. And I'm going to leave her ends a little bit straighter as well. And that's just going to help give it a more relaxed look. Okay, once I have this curled, I'm going to start creating my volume in here. So you're going to need a blow dryer and a flat clip, as well as some hairspray. And this is the Volume Spray 25 again that I'm going to use. So what I'm going to do is just skim the very top layer of her ponytail. So just a thin row. And I'm going to push this upwards and really take on some hairspray right there at the root. So I'm really pressing this up. And while that's still wet, I'm going to hit it with the blow dryer. And then in order to set that in place, I'm just going to clip it for a second while it cools. Okay, I'm going to repeat that process with like 2 or 3 more rows. So just take a really small, thin row and then get that hairsprayed and blow dried. Okay, and then once I'm more in the interior, I'm going to do that same thing, but I'm going to add some back combing as well. Okay, and you don't have to do this all the way through the whole ponytail. I usually go about halfway down. Okay, Okay, and then I can go ahead and let all of that down, and you can see how much volume that creates. So I'm just going to soften this a little bit and get all of it blended together. Okay, and then one last thing I like to do sometimes for a little bit more security in my volume is just go in with a bobby pin, and I'm just going to stick this right into the center of the elastic. So the bobby pin is going to be sitting like this, but it's going to be in the interior so you can't see it. And that's just going to help kind of lock that volume in place a little bit more. So I'm just sticking this right in here. Okay, and then I'm also going to just softly grab the whole ponytail and slightly scrunch it up. And then mist that with hairspray and then softly blow dry. So that's just going to help lock that in place as well. Okay, then I'm just going to go through and detail through the crown a little bit more, make sure everything is looking good from every angle, and we will be good to go.